Hello there, welcome to Rajiv Gandhi IAS Academy Daily News Analysis, and this is me Nawazish Nihal, and today I'll be analyzing daily news of 2nd January. So on with the first part of the news. So the first news is the FCRA registration of 6,000 NGO has been lapsed. So the basic points in the news is that FCRA, as we all know, is the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, which is necessary and a mandatory kind of provision for an NGO to receive foreign funds, and about 6,000 NGO were incompatible of the compliances with the new compliances which the Ministry of Home Affairs have done. So their licenses of FCRA has been cancelled, and major institute which are there is Oxfam India, and also this MOC, that is Missionary of Charity. And we all know that Oxfam India is basically organization which works for economic and gender justice. So and it major work is across Adivasis, Dalits, Muslims, and women, and it will lose about 62 crore rupees with this new form policies. And also this missionary of charity is was founded by we all know that it was founded by Mother Teresa, and this will also lose a heavy amount in this FCRA labs. So what are different prospects of FCRA? Let us discuss it one by one. So about FCRA, the FCRA, as we all know, regulates foreign donation. So foreign donation is regulated by FCRA, and it ensures that such contribution do not adversely affect internal security. And it was first came in effect in 1976, and in 2010 it was amended when a slew of new measures were adopted to regulate foreign donation. And FCRA is applicable to all association groups and NGO which intend to receive foreign donation. So everyone who intend to receive foreign donation have to fill up the FCRA form or have to comply with the FCRA norms. So it is mandatory for all organization, association, and NGOs, and its registration is initially valid for 5 years, and it can be renewed subsequently if they comply with all norms. So why was this FCRA enacted in further step? So the FCRA sought to consolidate the acceptance and utilization of foreign funds. So it kind of consolidate the whole funding process of foreign contribution or foreign hospitality by individual, association, or companies, and also is sought to prohibit such contribution from being used for activities which is detrimental for national interest. So it is kind of what we can say that it makes sure that national interest is secured when a foreign contribution is there. So these two were the basic think process why this FCRA was enacted. And what are different criticisms against FCRA? So the basic criticism which different NGOs are saying is that it prohibits the fund transfer. Means it kind of put an arbitrary restriction. So NGOs questioning the law, considering the prohibition on transfer is arbitrary and too heavy. So too heavy restriction is there, and there is no sharing of the fund. And one of its consequences is that recipient cannot fund other organization. When foreign help is received as a material, it becomes impossible to share the aid. So they cannot share the aid with other sister organization of them. And there is this also irrationality of the bank account, that is there is no rational link between designating a particular branch of a bank. Because for example, in this FCRA act, every NGO have to open an account in SBI main branch New Delhi. So why only this branch was selected, and why other branch were not selected? And what about those NGO which are working in remote areas? And in this COVID condition, we all know that this kind of problem can happen while traveling to new cities, or especially cities like New Delhi, metropolitan city. So this is a kind of irrationality. And there is also this unease of operation. Means due to Delhi based account, it is inconvenient for all the NGOs which are operating elsewhere. So NGO operating elsewhere, especially for example, there are many NGO which are operating in northeastern state, and where there is remote connection and travel is not possible. And also there are many NGOs which are working down towards the south. For example, if a NGO is working in Trivandrum, he have to travel all across SBI New Delhi if any problem with its account happened. And also the logical narrative for national security, the NGOs are saying that it is kind of illogical, because national security cannot be cited as a reason without adequate justification. And it was said by a Supreme Court judgment in the Pegasus snooping case, we all know. So this is not related to FCRA, but in that case, Supreme Court said that national security cannot be cited as a reason without justification. So a justification should be given that why this organization is a kind of threat to national security. So this kind of justification is not given in FCRA Act, and it just put a blanket cover that everyone should work for the national interest. So moving on with the news, what is the Supreme Court observation is regarding that? So Supreme Court asked the government why the Ministry of Human Affairs, that is MHA, has been tasked to keep an eye on the inflow and subsequent outflow of foreign funds to NGOs. Means why only why Home Affairs Ministry is working for this kind of funds? Because Finance Ministry is there which can take care of the funds, or Ministry of Cooperative Affairs are there, and like example Labor Ministry is there which can work for NGO, and different NGOs are working under different ministries. Means their parent organization is for can be different. So why only this Ministry of Home Affairs is taking care of all the contribution? So this was this observation which was made by Supreme Court, and this kind of observation can be useful when we are writing mains answer. And for prelims this kind of observation are not useful, but can be used for as a case study for mains answer writing. And also the government says that it got zero tolerance against intervention, means the amendments were necessary to prevent foreign state and non-state actors from interfering with the country's polity and internal matters. So this internal matters, they are saying that it's a kind of necessary for controlling the internal matters of India. And also the government is saying that diversion of foreign funds should be controlled, and the changes are also needed to prevent malpractice of NGO and diversion of the foreign funds. So basically this was done. And also government is saying that they are doing this for fund flow monitoring, and the provision of having one designated bank for receiving foreign fund is aimed at making it easier to monitor the flow of funds. So flow of funds can be monitored easily, so that's why this fund flow monitoring, only one account is there, one branch is selected. For example, this SBI New Delhi is selected for FCRA. And also government is saying that since there is this net banking and everything is now connected with each other in banking sector, the government clarified that there was no need for anyone to come to Delhi to open the account, and it can be done remotely also. But still there are many problems. Suppose there is a problem with that particular account, that person have to come to Delhi, but still when we are preparing for UPSC, we have to provide government's point on that also. So these were the government point. So moving on with the next news. So the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Bhupesh Baghel, said that hailed the security force for their success against the Maoist rebels. And he said that Maoism is not just a law and order problem, but also a political and social problem. And he also said that people at Bastar, now people looking at Bastar with hope of development, and as amenities like roads, hospital and school are reaching here. So Bastar, as we all know, is one of the area in Chhattisgarh, and it is one of the highest Maoist insurgency at a time was there. So now it's in control. So we have to know about left wing extremism, because these kind of things are very important when it comes to our social issues topic, and extremism topic also, and internal security. For everything this kind of thing is important. So what are different aspect of this Maoism and left wing extremism, we will be discussing it. So what is left wing extremism, and how is left wing extremism has uh, came to India? So it is popularly known as Maoist, and as worldwide it is known as Maoism, Maoist or Maoism, and in India it is known as Naxalite. So because of the area of the Naxalbari, which is in West Bengal, and it originated as a rebellion against local landlords, and who was bashed over a land dispute. And the rebellion was initiated in 1967 with an objection of rightful distribution of land. So regarding this distribution of land, this was done for working peasants under the leadership of there were two leaders, Kanu Sanyal, Kanu Sanyal and Jagan Santhal. And as we all know, Santhal is a tribal leader. And there is also Charu Majumdar was there. So these were the basic leader of the Naxalbari movement. And this movement has spread across eastern India, especially, and especially in the less developed area of such as Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, and it considered that Naxal support Maoist political sentiment and ideology. So they are kind of in synchronism with the Naxalism and Maoism are kind of two sides of the same coin. And Maoism is form of communism under which was developed by Mao Tse-tung, who was the premium of China, and it is a doctrine to capture state power through combination of armed insurgency. There are three facts which are there in Maoism: armed insurgency plus mass mobilization, and strategic alliance. Strategic alliance. These are the three factor which are the factor through which a Moise can control a state. And this was, as we all know, developed by Mao Tse-tung. And Naxalbari or Naxalite movement is in close synchronization with Moise and was developed in 1967. And these were the later Kanu Sanyal and Jagan Santha. So this is kind of a map of India's Maoist conflict area. So we all know that, as discussed earlier, it was started in Naxalbari of um, West Bengal, and now it spread to like the whole of the India, whole of the, like we can say, western coast, eastern coast of middle India, and also the Odisha, Telangana, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, and Kerala and Karnataka. This became affected, and we can see that this area of Chhattisgarh is one of the highest affected area, like Bastar, Raipur, this kind of area. And moving on with the why this basically this left wing extremism happen, and the reason for left wing extremism. So there is this tribal discontent, and the main reason for tribal discontent is that Forest Conservation Act, which was passed in 1980, Forest Act 1980, has been used for targeting tribals who depend on forest produce for their living. And there is this also displacement of tribal, massive displacement of tribal people in the Naxalist area due to development project, mining operation, and other operation. So massive displacement is there. So these kind of due to this kind of reason, there is this tribal discontent. And also these people are easy target for Moist. Such people do not have any source of living and take into Naxalism by Maoist, and Maoist provides arms and ammunition and also money to these people. So these are kind of easy targets for Maoist. And there is this gap in socio-economic of our country, and government measure its success on the basis of number of violent attacks, means how much violent attacks have been done by Maoist in a year, rather than the development done. So if government is starting taking development as an index, development of the affected area, Maoism affected area as an index, or the Naxal affected area as an index, so definitely this socio-economic condition can improve. And there is this absence of a strong technical intelligence also. The technical intelligence is there, due to which these kind of things are in rise. Technical intelligence is not there, and also there is this infrastructure problem. So these all comes in the socio-economic system and the issues, because the infrastructure of the rural areas and the especially hilly areas of Chhattisgarh are very poor. And for instance, some villages are not yet connected to any communication network, whether by road or electricity or mobile network. They are not connected. So Moise found it easy to grab this kind of people. And also there is no follow up by administration, because even if police is taking hold of a region, administration failed to provide essential services to the people. So and with the police taking hold, and follow up should be done by the administration also. And there is also this slight confusion, because as we have seen that in his speech, Mr. Bhupesh Baghel has said that it is not just a security issue but also a social issue. So there is this confusion whether to have this Maoism or the Naxalism taking as a security issue or a social issue. So there is this problem also, so of confusion also. So these are the reasons why left wing extremism are in rise, were in rise, because now they are getting control and government is taking different initiative. So what are the different initiative taken by government? So first initiative, one of the oldest initiative, it was Greyhounds, and it was raised in 1989 as an anti-Naxal force. So people from CRPF, military, and many kind of security forces were formed to join a operation, that is Greyhounds. And it was an elite Naxal, anti-Naxal force, and it is still operating. And also there is this famous operation Green Hunt, and it started in 2009-10, and massive development of security forces was done in the Naxal area, and development of security forces. So this was done in the Naxal areas. And also there is this LWE mobile tower project to improve mobile tower connectivity, to improve mobile connectivity in this Naxal provided area. This project was done, was taken by government in 2014, and approved installation of mobile tower in this left wing extremist affected state. And also the one point is missing here, that is aspirational district program. And we all know that aspirational district program is run by Niti Aayog. So what is happening is that it was launched in 2018, and it aims to rapidly transform the district that has shown little progress. So aspirational district program, and it is run by Niti Aayog, and this is basically provide kind of index that which district of country is provided is performing well. So if some if a Naxal provided Naxal affected area is performing well, it kind of give a boost or moral to people living in this area. And there is also this Samadhan scheme, where S stand for smart leadership. A stand for aggressive strategy, and M stand for motivation and training, A stand for action. So this is basically Samadhan training was there, and I will definitely urge you to have a look, have a Google this topic, because these are kind of important when it comes to our social and security issues. So this Samadhan, different acronyms are there. For example, N is for no access to financing, and A is for action plan for each theater, and harnessing technology, H is for harnessing technology. So this was launched. So moving on to the next news, Prime Minister Modi has released aid for farmers, and about 20,900 crores were released to about 10.9 crore farmers across India as the 10th installment of financial aid under the PM Kisan scheme. So this was done for the PM Kisan scheme. And this was also in this press conference, or in this video conference, launching of the funds, Prime Minister also presented a kind of report card which happened in the pre-COVID area. And he said that the economic indicator are in better position than in the pre-COVID area, and FDI and GST collection are high. Growth rate is about 8%, currently at 8%. And he also applauded 42 unicorn, that is the startup firms that came into existence during pandemic. So this is kind of a big achievement for Indian industry, that during pandemic new industries are getting developed. And also with the release, the latest trends, the total amount provided under the PM Kisan scheme would be around 1.8 lakh crore. So these numbers are not to be memorized, but just for a overlook that this has happened. And this PM Kisan scheme was launched in February 2019 budget, and the first installment was for the period December 2018 to March 2019. So this is something about the PM Kisan scheme. So we will be definitely doing what this PM Kisan is scheme is about. So under this scheme, the PM Kisan scheme, the center transfer an amount of about 6,000 per year in three installment directly into the bank account of the of farmers, of land holding farmers, irrespective of the size of the land holding. And as discussed, it was launched in February 2019 budget. And it is a scheme central sector scheme with 100% financing from government of India, 100% financing from government of India. And it is been implemented by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. So this ministries became important when it, especially in prelims, because they can ask a question. PM Kisan is associated with with ministry. They can ask a tribal ministry or Ministry of Finance, or simply like Commerce and Industries, or Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. So if we are knowing these kind of things, we can simply say that. And the beneficiaries, the entire responsibility for the identification of beneficiary and farmer families rests with the state or the UT government. So state will decide who will be the beneficiary of this scheme, and different state can have different policies about the beneficiaries. And what are the different objectives? So the objective is to supplement the financial needs of the small and marginal farmers. So financial need of small and marginal farmers, the basic objective is to fulfill their financial need, and in procuring various inputs to ensure proper crop health and appropriate yield, and commensurate with anticipated from income at the end of each crop cycle. So this is one of the main objective, that small and marginal farmers needs are fulfilled. And also it is to protect them from falling into the clutches of money lenders. So we all know that in India, especially in rural area and semi-urban area, money lenders play a very huge role, and their interest rate are quite often high. So for meeting such expenses and ensure their continuance in the farming activities, that they became independent of the money lenders, these kind of schemes are launched. And in this scheme, there is this PM Kisan mobile app is also launched, and it is developed by NIC, that is National Informatics Center. And it is developed with the collaboration of the Ministry of Electronics and Technology, Ministry of MITI, we can say, that is commonly known as MITI, that is Ministry of Information Technology, Electronics and Information Technology. So this is the thing. This kind of ministry became important when it comes to prelims. As I said earlier, they can revolve a question around this. And in this mobile app, the farmers can view the status of their application, update or carry out their correction. And Aadhaar card should be uploaded over here to uh, have checked the history of the credits of their bank account. So moving on with the next news, we all know that the ASPA has been further extended in Nagaland, and the Cognac Naga organization, which is the main organization of the Cognac Tribe, have termed the extension of ASPA in Nagaland less than a month after the we know Mon massacre was happened. And it said that the Cognac group have said that it is adding salt to the wound. So in the Mon, we know that about 13 Nagalandi citizens were killed by armed forces, and by misusing this ASPA Act. So they are saying that this should not be done, and the Ministry of Home Affairs had issued a notification extending the continuous ASPA for 6 months until December 30, from December 30, 2021 to the next 3 months, 6 months, they have increased this. And they have said that the whole of Nagaland will be in disturbed and dangerous area, and requiring the use of armed force in the aid of civilians. So this was released by Ministry of Home Affairs. Notification was released. So we have already discussed about ASPA in length in our different videos. So we will be discussing here about the Cognac tribe. So see, basically Cognac people look like this, different kind of headgears, and this is their typical sign is there. And Cognac tribe has a population of about 3 lakh, and they are inhabitant in Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, and as well as Myanmar. So this is a not just a interstate tribe but a inter-country tribe also, and they are known for one of the fiercest various tribe in Nagaland. And the best unique thing about this Cognac tribe is that they were the last tribe to give up the practice of headhunting. So what was happening in Nagaland is that uh, basically severing head of enemies after attacking rival tribes was a practice until late 1980s, and this was prevalent in Cognac tribe. So they were the last one to to kind of give up this kind of practice. So why the Cognac tribes became important in the peace process? Because Mon is the only district we have known that in Mon district only 13 people were killed by armed forces. So Mon is the only district in Nagaland where the separatist groups have not been able to set up base camp. So that is due to the resistance from Cognac tribe. So Cognac tribe become important because they are kind of a pro government tribe when it comes to armed forces or separatist group, and the Cognac therefore are imperative for a smooth resolution of the peace talk as well as the post talk peace process. So without Cognac tribe we cannot dream of a peaceful Nagaland. So it became a very significant portion, one of the most significant tribes of Nagaland when it comes to the peace process. So moving on with the next news. So the next news is that India gives 5 lakh doses of Covaxin to Afghanistan, and the consignment is a part of gift of million doses, and the supply of which will be completed within coming weeks. And India will also send wheat and medicine as a part of humanitarian aid. So it has already sent some of the portion of medicine, and the recent delivery is the second time in a month that India has provided aid to the Taliban ruled country. And India earlier said 1.5 tons of medicine 1.5 tons of medicines to the Taliban controlled Afghanistan. And India has not yet formally recognized Taliban as of now, but India is making its effort that democracy and a peaceful Afghanistan is there. And New Delhi has been urging the international community to ensure delivery of humanitarian goods to ease the suffering of common people who are facing the dual crisis of there is this breakdown of governments also, and the economy is also collapsing, and the health sector is also not performing well in Afghanistan. So India is kind of urging international community also to help Afghanistan, because India has spent a lot on Afghanistan, and like Afghanistan parliament was made up by India. There is this road developed till Delram by India. So these kind of facts are important when it comes to India-Afghanistan relationship. But still there are many challenges. So first challenge is that there is this issue of Indian security when it comes to Taliban ruled Afghanistan, because the restoration of Taliban rule in Afghanistan presents some very serious potential challenges for Indian security. And the challenges range from its developing infrastructure, because as I have said that India has developed a whole infrastructure plan in Afghanistan. So for that safety, it is very important, and there is this challenge, and there is also this challenge of spread of international terrorism. Because for India, a bigger challenge will be about the Taliban's renewed support for international terrorism and Pakistan redirection of jihadi groups that have allegedly fought with the Taliban towards India. So Pakistan interference should not be there. It's a kind of challenge to India also. And there is this also challenge for controlling the religious fundamentalists, because like all radical groups, the Taliban will have trouble balancing its religious ideology with imperative of the state interest. So India will face a challenge to de-radicalize the region for a long-lasting peace. So de-radicalization is a kind of tough step for India. And also there is this new regional geopolitical developments happening, and there can be like new alignments such as China, Pakistan, Taliban, which will go against the interest of India. For example, China is giving huge finance to Pakistan, and suppose China start financing Taliban also, so that will be a very difficult situation for India itself. And also the US withdraws its creation of new balance of power system in and around Afghanistan. And moreover, the US and the West will try to shape international attitudes towards the new regime, because US has been US took out his forces, so it will kind of take a withdrawal of the balance of power in Afghanistan currently happening. So India have to very much uh, cautiously take every step. And also there is this no continuity with the Taliban, because Pakistan, China, Iran, uh, and these country have like continuity with the Taliban, means they are connected from land with the Taliban. And India has no kind of this kind of connection. So India has, although India has no such security responsibilities and no direct access to Central Asia, but this may give reason to Taliban to hit back at India through Pakistan, Jammu Kashmir, or it can hit back through giving the LET, Lashkar-e-Toiba, and Jash operating in Afghanistan along the Taliban. So there is no direct connection between India and Taliban till now. So this is kind of a major challenge for India also. And what are India options right now? So the first option is to broaden up diplomatic engagement, and India should consider appointing a special envoy, which is that a special envoy which is dedicated to Afghanistan only. And the envoy can ensure that India views are expressed at every meeting of between the Taliban. And we have to decouple, India have to decouple the Taliban and Pakistan axis, because although Pakistan leverage over the Taliban is real, it may not be absolute, and the Taliban is bound to seek a measure of autonomy from Pakistan, and India will have to wait a while before the current issue between India and Taliban can be overcome. So this Pakistan came in very we have to decouple it. And balancing, there is this opportunity balance in Afghanistan also, because structuring the internal balance of power with Afghanistan has always been hard. Means a deeper Sino Park partnership or the China Park partnership in Afghanistan will produce countervailing trends for India. So we have to be open minded about this kind of thing. And also there is this leverage for Indian structural development, because India kind of invested about $3 billion in Afghanistan, $3 billion in Afghanistan, uh, to concrete projects that serve its population. And the need today is to not stop the development work in Afghanistan and continue the good work. So this kind of development projects are running by India. So also there's this, India can utilize some global cooperation, and there is a lot less global acceptance of terrorism from the 1990s itself. So no major power would like to see Afghanistan re-emerge as the global sanctuary of terror, and the world has imposed significant constraint on Taliban, like FATFA. Also we know FAT, like this is Financial Action Task Force, which put Pakistan into the gray list. So this is kind of global cooperation India also need. So these were all the options India had for Afghanistan, and this was done for today daily news analysis. So do subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Telegram channel, and there will be posting different kind of aspects of this current affairs or different things which are necessary for UPSC examination. So see you again tomorrow. Thank you.